The Etihad Stadium, a fortress for Manchester City in recent years, bore witness to a night of utter disbelief. Manchester City, a team accustomed to dominating opponents, found themselves on the receiving end of a stunning comeback. Feyenoord, trailing 3-0 with just 15 minutes remaining, staged a remarkable recovery to draw 3-3. The match served as a stark reminder of City's recent defensive frailties, exposing vulnerabilities that have plagued them throughout the season. The result sent shockwaves through the footballing world. City, considered one of the most complete teams in Europe, appeared to have the game well in hand. However, their inability to maintain concentration and defensive discipline proved costly. The draw has cast a shadow of doubt over their Champions League aspirations and raised questions about their ability to compete at the highest level. The match also highlighted the psychological impact of City's recent struggles. Pep Guardiola, usually a picture of composure, cut a frustrated figure on the touchline. His animated gestures and exasperated expressions spoke volumes about his team's performance. The draw against Feyenoord was not just a setback in terms of points, it was a blow to City's confidence and aura of invincibility. The match began according to the script. Erling Haaland, a force of nature in front of goal, gave City the lead in the 7th minute, latching onto a Kevin De Bruyne through ball. Haaland doubled the lead just before half-time, capitalising on a defensive mix-up. When İlkay Gündoğan added a third in the 60th minute, City seemed home and dry. However, complacency crept into City's game. Feyenoord, sensing an opportunity, grew in confidence. The turning point came in the 75th minute when Anis Hadj Musa pounced on a loose ball in the box. The goal, while scrappy, breathed life into the Dutch side. Suddenly, City's defence, so assured just moments ago, began to unravel. Josko Gvardiol, a summer signing with a hefty price tag, endured a torrid night. His poor positioning allowed Jordan Lotomba to deliver a cross for Santiago Giménez to tap in Feyenoord's second. The equaliser arrived in the 89th minute, David Hanko heading in from close range after City failed to deal with a set-piece. The Etihad, a cauldron of noise just minutes ago, fell silent, the home fans stunned into disbelief. Pep Guardiola, known for his meticulous planning and tactical acumen, was left searching for answers. In his post-match press conference, his frustration was palpable. "We were fragile," he admitted, his voice laced with disappointment. "We were not stable." Guardiola's words reflected a deeper concern about his team's mentality and ability to control games. The Catalan manager, usually quick to defend his players, did not hold back in his criticism. He lamented his team's inability to close out the game, highlighting their lack of concentration and game management. "At 3-0, the game should be over," he said, his voice tinged with disbelief. "But we stopped playing." Guardiola's anguish was not solely due to the dropped points. It stemmed from a growing concern about his team's vulnerability, a fragility that has been exposed in recent weeks. City, once renowned for their defensive solidity, have looked susceptible at the back, conceding sloppy goals and struggling to maintain their shape. The draw against Feyenoord served as a stark reminder that even the best teams are not immune to defensive lapses. Section 4, Defensive Lapses, a catalogue of errors. The match against Feyenoord was a microcosm of City's defensive woes. Individual errors, coupled with a collective lack of concentration, proved costly. Gvardiol, in particular, endured a night to forget, his performance characterized by poor positioning and lapses in judgment. The first goal, while scrappy, highlighted City's inability to clear their lines. The second goal was a direct result of Gvardiol's failure to track his runner. The third goal exposed City's vulnerability from set pieces, a recurring theme throughout the season. Time and again, City's defence, usually so well drilled, looked disjointed and susceptible. The defensive frailties were not limited to individual errors. City, as a unit, appeared to lack their usual intensity and organisation. The midfield, often the engine room of their play, failed to provide adequate cover for the back four. The absence of a vocal leader, a player to marshal the defence and provide reassurance, was also evident. Section 5, an unprecedented collapse, a look at the history books. The draw against Feyenoord was not just a blip, it was a historical anomaly. City became the first team in Champions League history to surrender a 3-goal lead after the 75th minute. It was a statistic that underscored the magnitude of their collapse, a collapse that defied logic and precedent. The draw also marked the first time since 1989 that City had let a 3-goal lead slip in any competition. Furthermore, it was the first time since 1963 that they had conceded 2 or more goals in 6 consecutive matches. These statistics painted a bleak picture of City's defensive woes, suggesting that their current struggles were not merely a case of bad luck or isolated incidents. The historical context added another layer of concern to City's recent form. The team that had once set the standard for defensive solidity in Europe was now on the wrong side of history, their defensive record a far cry from their previous dominance.